Good evening, guys. This side Rahul Magan as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. Somewhere in April 2020, when Vodafone was trading approximately 2 or somewhere 1.9, and when Hindi media and the so-called 5-7 people, those who generally came on the social media and speaks a lot, they not predicted about Vodafone. Treasury Consulting came in public domain. In fact, Treasury Consulting Group hedge fund desk came in public domain and said that Vodafone will touch 13. We released a list somewhere in April to our clients. The list was having around 10 stocks, which includes few stocks that are currently in NCLT, and people got not less than 200% profit. Vodafone was completely exceptional because it was 2 and it went till 13 and many people profited, but the C category people and the thankless community, they never acknowledged that. Anyways, neither we wanted. Treasury Consulting was, is, and will be long on Vodafone, effective 1.9. I have not sold any of my shares in the Vodafone as yet. Rather, I would continue to hold Vodafone till 2024. I have certain permutations and combinations which I have made for the Vodafone. Everything cannot be put into public domain. But today, 3rd September 2020, Indian markets got a news. And that news is that two big names, Amazon and Verizon, they are interested to invest in Vodafone to the tune of $4 billion. Before I go further, let me read this for you. Amazon.com Inc. and Verizon Communication, the largest wireless carrier in US, are set to resume talks to buy a significant stake in struggling Vodafone Idea Limited for more than $4 billion. Two people aware of this negotiation said. In fact, when this case was under discussion with Supreme Court, Vodafone, a news came that Google wanted to invest in Vodafone, but somehow immediately Vodafone board came in public domain and clarified that it was just a talk. Google is not buying any stake in Vodafone, and that happened exactly, that Google not bought anything in the Vodafone. But now the scene is very clear, and Supreme Court, thanks to the Supreme Court for acknowledging the fact that they gave around 10 years to the telcos, which includes Bharti, Reliance Communications, I think Tata Communications, and Vodafone. This clears the way for Vodafone, and I think 10 year, if not bad, then it is a sufficient period for Vodafone to arrange some funding. But once again, the prudence is definitely required, because without prudence, arranging that funding is really tough. So I got some data, and the data is that around 58,000 crores is to be paid by Vodafone to Department of Telecommunication. Around 7,800 crores has already been paid by Vodafone. 4,000 crores Vodafone would receive once they're going to be selling their stake in Indus Towers. By the way, this AGR judgment by Supreme Court is having a positive impact on Bharti Infratel because of the possible merger between Bharti Infratel and you do not know, you should know. And guys, when the AGR judgment was announced by Supreme Court, whereby they gave 10 years to Vodafone, the whole operators sitting in BSC and NSC, they were like, oh, we never envisaged that. We were thinking that Supreme Court would be asking Vodafone to pay in 7 days. Vodafone was down by not 1%, 2%, 14%, while Bharti was up. And our beloved traders, those who believed in Hindi media, they also sold Vodafone without even doing a research that if Vodafone really wished to close, then Vodafone could have sold all the assets and paid to the government. But Vodafone is trying very hard only because they wanted to be in the picture, and they should be in the picture. Because if Vodafone quit, then it ends up as a duopoly in India. One side you have great mammoth Jio, another side we have Bharti Airtel, who is having a huge amount of debt in the books. In short, this I don't consider this as a duopoly, rather I consider this as a monopoly. But anyways, when this AGR judgment was announced, people were selling Vodafone, but our focus was on Infratel. Because this judgment clears Infratel between the merger between Infratel and Bharti, and which would create, if not the largest tower company of the globe, but at least amongst the top tower companies of the globe. And we all understand the value of infrastructure and the value of digital infrastructure in 2020. I'm not going to be deliberating much about what has to be done about a possible merger between Bharti Infratel and Indus Towers, because for that I need time and I really don't think everything should come in public domain. But I'm happy that both Amazon and Verizon are coming forward and giving a helping hand to Vodafone. Vodafone came in public domain and said that on 4th September, which is tomorrow, Vodafone would be having a board meeting wherein they would basically chalk out the plans for funding. Because one thing has to be clear, that Vodafone needs to arrange 58,000 crores in another 10 years, which means 5,800 crores per year. And this is over and above all the operating expenses Vodafone is having as yet. And another thing is that Vodafone is planning the 4,000 crores cost optimization strategy. But one thing that really gathered my attention in a very pleasant way is that Vodafone is planning for ARPU, average revenue per user, which is basically a benchmark in telecom industry. Vodafone is planning ARPU of 200 by financial year 2023 to be sustainable, which is good. It means that the mindset of the Vodafone is to grow, is to be in the picture rather than outside of the picture. Because today is 20, and if they are planning ARPU of 200 by 23, it means they really wish to be in the picture. That's more important from Vodafone. Standing today, it is very difficult to predict whether Amazon and Verizon both will participate in funding. Either will participate, or maybe third party will also come, private equity and venture capitalist. Because one thing is very clear, that India is the largest digital market of the globe. Jio pre-IPO raising to the tune of $20 billion proved that. And I'm damn sure there are many private equity and venture capitalist players, those who not participated for either reasons in Jio, they would definitely looking for some alternate opportunities. And I think that Vodafone is not a bad opportunity for them. Because one very good thing with the Vodafone is that Vodafone is having strategic assets in place. Vodafone is all set for 4G, and God knows they will also vying for 5G. With all assets and operational capabilities in place, I think it's not bad for private equity and venture capitalists to invest in Vodafone. Once you can invest in startups, those who are in losses since years, you can definitely take a call on Vodafone as well. Treasury Consulting Hedge Fund Desk is consistently evaluating Vodafone because, according to me, there are probably 4 to 5 scenarios we have in Vodafone case now onwards, because now judgment is came. Vodafone need to pay around 58,000 crores in 10 years. And by the way, I should not say 58,000 crore, I should say 54,000 crores, because 4,000 crores Vodafone is getting from the sale of their stake in the Indus Tower. So precisely we need to deduct this 4,000, so it is 54,000 crores. To me, there are 5 probable scenarios we have in case of Vodafone. Number one, Vodafone parent will come and help Vodafone. Probability is little low, but probability is there. And Vodafone parent himself understand the importance of the Indian market, and they also understand that if they exit Indian market, then what are probable permutation and combinations for Vodafone as a whole setup. Second, I think that either Amazon, Verizon, or maybe one player I have in my mind, he not yet came in public domain, but I think that he is in the line, he is in the picture. Maybe he is behind the curtains, do not want it to come right now. But I think there are 3 players that are currently or should be interested to invest in Vodafone. Whether they will be investing to the tune of 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion, we really do not know as yet. Only the time will tell. Third thing is that apart from these 3 boys, rather big boys, private equity and venture capitalist player will surely come, and I think that we have one private equity player in India who is very well positioned in the Indian infrastructure sector. In fact, they also did something with the opponent party, and I think they might come. But it is really difficult because it might end up as a conflict of interest. Till what extent they would be able to resolve that conflict of interest is something very beautiful to see, but I think maybe they come directly or indirectly. Fourth and last, I think that Vodafone would be able to gather money not only by selling the Indus Tower stake, maybe some help from parent, some help from Amazon, Verizon, private equity players, and some help from selling of stake, selling of asset. But in either of the cases, the good fact is that Vodafone is trying to be in the picture. Just like a cricket match wherein you need to score 120 runs in the last 8 hours. Many batsmen will raise the hands and say 120 runs in the last 8 hours is around 15 runs per hour, which is a very high call. But a good batsman like Ricky Ponting and all, they take this challenge and they will say, no, we take this challenge and we go ahead. And history is witness they made several times. So the situation of the Vodafone is like that. They need to score 120 runs in the last 8 hours. The match is still well positioned, and if Vodafone play well, they are able to win the game. Because now they got 10 years. That is the most important part. And as the Indian economy is moving towards digitization, the internet consumption is rising at a faster pace. You can say blessings in disguise or whatever, but this COVID has pushed the extreme usage of video conferencing services. Jio launched JioMeet, Google launched Google Meet, Microsoft having Microsoft Teams, Airtel launch, I think BlueJeans, maybe Vodafone would like to launch some their own product. We do not know. But one thing I'm sure is that if Vodafone really needs to survive in Indian market, then one thing Vodafone need to understand from very clearly and clarity wise is Vodafone needs new products. And if Vodafone not been able to have new products, then I really don't think that the ARPU, average revenue per user, will grow. If Vodafone needs to have ARPU of 200, then new products are required. And the best part of Reliance and Mr. Ambani is that he always interested in launching new products. And I think that is the reason why he is amongst the richest person in the globe, and that is the reason why Reliance is a conglomerate. And this thing is something I think Vodafone needs to understand very clearly, that if they've not been able to launch at least a couple of products in another 6 months, then surviving is definitely not an issue, but ARPU of 200 is really a difficult job, and especially when telecommunication is an intense competitive industry and getting more intense because of Jio. But apparently speaking, it is a good. Our media has given a negative remarks about Vodafone, but Treasury Consulting believes that the Supreme Court judgment, and thanks to Supreme Court, it came in the favor of Vodafone. I think that 10-year period is not what Vodafone expected and initially called for. But I think 10-year is relatively okay compared to what if Supreme Court said that you need to pay in 4 years, assuming. If Vodafone would be able to launch more products in another 6 months to 1 year, then I think the game is in the hands of Vodafone. And more importantly, how fast Vodafone would be able to raise money, maybe from Amazon, Verizon, maybe some another private equity player, and from Motabhai. I call this third person as Motabhai. From Motabhai, that we need to see. But I think that amalgamation chances of Vodafone is now highly reduced. But it is still there. But Vodafone is a pretty interesting case now. And we are watching Vodafone. Treasury Consulting is long in Vodafone. All the C category people, C, you know the meaning of C? All the C category people should know that this is Treasury Consulting call to be long on Vodafone. If you replicate this call and you turn out to be a Bill Gates, we are most happy. And if you do not turn out to be Bill Gates, it's all yours. But as an individual, I feel that Vodafone is in strategic position now. And our hedge fund desk will continue to watch, continue to research on Vodafone. And we are not bothered about our Hindi and the paid media, because whatever articles I read about Vodafone, they were talking negative about Vodafone. Where were you guys when Vodafone was 1.9 and we predicted Vodafone at 13? I'm not here telling you what is my forecast of Vodafone after 4 years, because the C category people will take this forecast. But I think if Vodafone will go as per the plan and as per the strategy and seriously, then Vodafone will reach where I think Vodafone should reach. Today Vodafone is 12 rupees per share. A strategic plan is required, and I might not be surprised if Vodafone will touch 100 rupees per share, provided they will go as per the strategic plan. Because one thing Vodafone needs to remember very clearly, even though they got 10 years to pay, but that judgment will not relieve Vodafone from the intense competition Mr. Ambani is creating in the system. Court or anyone cannot save any enterprise from demand and supply equation. That enterprise has to himself adjust to the demand and supply equation. And I think that the competition Reliance is creating is tough and getting tougher every passing day, because Reliance is launching many new products, a very good strategy by Mr. Ambani. And it's not easy for every enterprise to replicate this, because that requires cash, manpower, and agility. Business at the speed of thought, what Mr. Gates has said. With this, Treasury Consulting, thank you very much. You know our WhatsApp, 9818-485-155. In case you have any information about our paid groups, our hedge fund desk, our Android app, or anything, do let us know. But story is now more interesting. Have a great time, sir.